Hi, it's Rhonda here from Funky Freaks. This is part 2 of the spa set. In the first part we crocheted the soap saver or soap bag. I've crocheted additional rows in the video because I have already got this larger size soap. But I've also done some smaller bags, so we talk about doing about 7 additional rows in the part 1 of the video, and they're great for making up these little bags for the sort of little boutique soaps that you can get, which are really pretty. And these are great for sort of stocking fillers at Christmas time, or little birthday gifts, or just special treats for someone that you love. So they're really sweet, they're really cute, I like those. So we did this, so all the details of that pattern are in part 1. And today we're going to be looking at the face cloth. So a decent sized face cloth, this one. The pattern is a repeat pattern. I've used the James C. Brett yarn, which the details of that are in the first video. I love the way that it gradually sort of fades in and out of colour. It's a variegated yarn and it's a cotton acrylic blend. If you wanted a bigger face cloth in this, then all you need to do is be working more chains and more rows, but we'll get started on that now, and I'll work that through with you step by step. Hopefully this will be a fairly quick video in comparison to the first one. The first one was very, very detailed. So slip knot on your hook, and we're going to chain 30. As I said before, if you want a bigger face cloth, then you can make more chains. These are in groups of 2, so I'm going to do an even number of 30. Okay, there's 30 chain. Now if you're a beginner, just to let you know, we don't work in this first chain here, which is right up against the hook. If we did, if I go to put my hook in, you would notice that this whole line of yarn here would pull out toward the back. So we don't do that. We work in the second chain. A lot of patterns will stipulate work from the second chain from the hook, and depending on the stitch you use, they might even suggest the 3rd, 4th or 5th chain. So we're going to make a half double crochet. We're going to make a setup row before we start our pattern. So half double crochets are yarn over, insert your hook into the top of the chain, yarn over sort of across the top of your hook like so, pull that through from back to front. You have 3 loops on your hook here, yarn over again and pull through all 3 loops. That's a half double crochet. We're going to make another one in the next chain across. Yarn over, insert your hook, yarn over again, pull through, 3 loops on your hook, yarn over, pull through all 3 loops. And you're going to continue that all the way down your chain. Now, as you started in the second chain from your hook, instead of having 30 half double crochets, you'll end up with 29. So if you do like to count to make sure you're making the right number of stitches, 29 is the count that you're after. Okay, so just continue down the end of the chain and I'll meet you toward the end. So you should be getting to the end here. 26, 27, 28. Oh, I think that might be 29 or 28. Let me count. I might have made the wrong number. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29. No, 29. So that's your setup row. We're going to chain 1 and turn. The chain 1 isn't counted in your stitch count, but it does create a little bit of height ready for the next stitch to be worked across. This is the next stitch here. You can see the 2 little V's that it makes on the top, and we're going to crochet a half double crochet in there, so you know how to do that. Yarn over, insert your hook underneath the 2 little bars, the 2 V's, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through again. That's your first stitch. The second stitch in this pattern is a treble crochet. Again, remember this is US terms. You need to wrap your hook, the yarn over your hook twice this time, not once like a half double crochet, but twice. Insert your hook, yarn over the hook and pull through that yarn. You'll end up with 4 loops on your hook. Yarn over your hook, pull through 2, just 2 of the loops. You'll end up with 3. Yarn over your hook again, pull through the next 2. You'll end up with 2. Yarn over your hook and pull through those last 2. That's a treble, and you'll notice that it's much longer than the half double crochet. That's what makes the pattern up. As we do the row after this, it'll bunch that down and create a little bit of a bump, and that's what creates the texture in the pattern. Half double crochet in the next. So yarn over, insert your hook, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through all 3. So a half double crochet. Treble crochet in the next, yarn over twice, insert your hook, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, treble. So it's half, treble, half, treble, half, treble all the way along. And as you're working an uneven number of stitches, you will start and end with a half double crochet. So there's our long stitch. So we're going to need a half double crochet in the next, and a treble crochet in the next. So if you continue doing that all the way down to the end, I'll meet you just before the last stitch. Okay, so we're getting to the end. A half double crochet, treble crochet, and right on the end there, it looks like it's sort of curled over on the side, is the last stitch. And if you've been counting, this will be stitch 29, and it will be a half double crochet. Remember, you start and end with a half double crochet. We're going to chain 1 and turn our work. The chain 1 is not counted in the stitch count, but it does add a little bit of height ready for the next row of stitches. So the second row of the crochet pattern, the repeat pattern, is a half double crochet row. So starting in that first stitch, just right up against the edge there, you want a half double crochet. And then in the next, so half double crochet in the last half double crochet, half double crochet in the treble. You can see it's a little bit longer and a bit lacier looking. Half double crochet in the half double crochet, half double crochet in the treble. So I don't know if you can see that. half double crochet spaces from the last row, slightly smaller. The trebles are a little wider, a bit lacier. So complete your row of half double crochet all the way to the end, and I'll meet you just before I finish. Okay, so I've got a couple more stitches to do at the end. There's the slightly wider, lacier treble, so we're going to put a half double crochet in there, and there's our last half double crochet at the end. Just turn that over, you can see the last two bumps or loops there of the stitch. Half double crochet into those and complete your stitch, then chain one and turn your work again. So you can see the pattern starting to really take some shape now. Now, as this is a repeat row, we're going to do this first part again, which is half double crochet treble, half double crochet treble all the way along. Half double crochet in the first, treble crochet in the next, half double crochet, treble crochet. So complete that, alternating stitches all the way to the end. Okay, so we're just coming toward the end here. I have 2 stitches left, so we want excuse me, the treble crochet and then a half double crochet at the end. Chain 1 and turn. Okay, so let's recap. We started with chain row, we then half double crocheted on top of the chain row. We started our first pattern row, which was half double crochet, treble crochet repeating across. Then we did a half double crochet. Then we did another of the pattern rows of half double treble. So the half double treble here made up one part, and we've got another part here to do, so we've got to finish off the half double crochet. So there's your first set of 2 row repeat, and we need to finish our second set of 2 row repeat. So I'm going to start half double crocheting along. If you can do the same, and I'll meet you back at the end. Okay, so we're coming toward the end. I have 3 more stitches to crochet, and that will be our second set of 2 row pattern repeat. I'm just going to chain 1 and turn. So that's coming along. You're doing really well, actually. That's coming along really nicely. Now, in order for me to have the length that I need, what I'll do is crochet another sort of additional 14 or so, 14 to 16 rows. I'll do some more sets of rows until I get to a reasonable height, and then what I'll do is I'll show you how I determine whether I need any more rows than that or not. I'm probably going to need up to about 16 rows anyway, or 14 rows on top of this. So carry on, work your rows, do an additional sort of 14 or so rows if you like, and then meet me back here and I will show you how I count my rows up, decide whether I need any more, and then we'll try and finish off that part. Once we've finished that part, I'll then show you the finishing border around the edge of the face cloth. I'll see you back soon. Okay, so I've completed 14 more rows, And this is how I would decide whether or not I would need more. I want a square face cloth, so I would just bring the bottom corner up to the opposite top corner, and if it makes a nice neat triangle, then I know I have it square. So it seems that the additional 14 rows were enough, and it means that I've started with a half double crochet and ended with a half double crochet. So what we're going to do now is we're going to work a border all the way around the edge. Okay, so in order to do that, we want to make a chain stitch, which is what we would have done if we had turned to do another row, and then single crochet into the end, or the first stitch there, and then continue along making more single crochets. And I'll meet you at the end just before you get to the last stitch, and I'll tell you what we need to do in the last stitch. Okay, so I'm just coming to the end. I have 2 more stitches, so I'm going to single crochet in the last 2. Well, sorry, in the second to last. In the last one there, I am going to single crochet. Let's pick up that stitch there. It's a little bit tight there on the end. So single crochet in that last stitch, then chain 1 and single crochet again in the same space, and that just creates a neat little corner so that you can start working back around. Now the idea with this raw edge here is that you try and evenly space your single crochets, and also not to do them too tight as well, otherwise your work might pucker just a tiny little bit and be a bit too tight. So you want to make them loose but not too loose. As a rule of thumb, I've generally placed 1 single crochet in my half double crochet row, and then 2 single crochets across my combination half double crochet treble crochet row. So I would go 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 all the way down. Feel free though to add a few more if you feel that the work might be a little bit tight, and you know, I think it's really just about your tension, so choose however many, but I've put about 27 to 28 along there in the past, so I'm going to see how it works this time around. It might be the same, it might be different. Okay, so I'm going to put a single crochet into the half double crochet round, just on the edge. I've just picked up sort of the last 2 bars there on the end, and then I'm going to work 2 into the side, 1 2, and then 1 more into the half double crochet. Some of the holes are very obvious, so it makes it easy to find where to put your hook. 2 into the combination half double crochet treble crochet row, 1 into the half double crochet row, and 2 into the next, and just keep continuing along doing that. 1 2. The single crochet is probably one of the easiest stitches to learn. It's nice and fun. It takes up the most yarn though, but it is nice and fun to do. You use a single crochet in amigurumi work as well. Okay, so I'll meet you again at the end, just in the last couple of stitches at the end. So I'm just on my 26th stitch, I need one more in here. It's 27. Now I'm at my last stitch there. That was the end of my half double crochet row that I started at the very beginning. So this will be 28, but what I'm going to do in here is a single crochet, a chain 1, and a single crochet in the same space, and that brings us round to another corner. Okay, and then you want to single crochet along your chain edge. So I'll meet you back once you again get to the just before the very end, and you work your single crochets all along your chain edge. Okay, so I'm back at the end. I've done 27, 28, and in the last one, the 29th stitch, same again for the corner, single crochet, chain 1, and single crochet back into the same space. There we go. Now you might choose to work over the tail, or you might weave that in. It's entirely up to you. Sometimes I'll work over part of it and then leave the rest to work back through later on. It's just personal choice, really. Okay, so we're back at the other raw edge. So when you want to do exactly the same as what you did before, again, not crocheting too tightly, but placing a single crochet in for your half double crochet rows and 2 for the combination half double crochet treble. Okay. Oops, not a half double, it's a single crochet in there, and 2 in the end. 1, 2, 1 in my half double crochet row, and 2 in my combination row. 1 in my half double crochet row, and 2 in here. Okay, so just work your way along until you get to the other corner. Okay, I've made my last single crochet up to the last stitch that I can, and this is the very last stitch of the previous of the starting row. We had, if you remember, a chain and a single crochet in there, so we're missing one more single crochet, and then you can slip stitch into your chain space there. Now I work from the back of the stitches and I pull my loop through, so I take my hook out, work from the back, I pull my loop through. It's going to be a little bit tight. There we go, like so. Just open that up a little bit so it's not too tight, and I just bring that tail through and I pull on that, and it just pulls that up nice and tight. It's just another way of finishing the end off, and then you snip your tail off, pull that through, and you can sew that piece in. Excellent. Oh, you've done a nice job. That's lovely. Well done. So that's your finished cloth once we've weaved these in. And what I tend to do when I'm weaving is I do try and pick the thinnest needle that I can possibly pick that will still allow the thread to go through. This is actually quite fine compared to some of the other sort of darning needles that I have. I don't know if you can see the difference there. The hole's certainly a lot bigger in this other one. And that's because when I run my stitches backwards and forwards through here to hide the thread, I want to split some of the stitches here as well, and a fine needle will split the stitches a lot easier and run through a lot easier. So I'm going to go down into this top piece first. Picking up several stitches along the top here. Just want to make sure it's not come through on the back. That's fine. Pull that through. This is quite a thick yarn that you're trying to pull through those split stitches, so it might take a little bit of wiggling to get through. Just be gentle with it. Don't pull on the end of the work itself, otherwise you'll stretch it. So pull on the place that you're actually pulling through. There we go. So that's one piece. Just make sure I don't overstretch that. And then I'm going to go back the other way, but I'm not going to go back through the same place. I will go down my work to the next row. Let's just slip down into that space there and then work along this row here. And the reason I do that is because I don't want to add any bulk. If I keep working backwards and forwards along the same length, then it gets a bit bulky, and you'll notice it as well. This is just to make sure you've got a nice professional finish. Again, just splitting some of those yarn pieces. There we go. Make sure that's pulled through. You can't notice it, can you? That works really well. The lacy pattern on this is quite forgiving too. You don't really notice you weaving in and out quite so much on a lacy pattern. Okay, so I've gone down again. So I'm down to my third pass here, third row. Just come out, oops, come out there. Okay, so we've done that 3 times now. Okay, and you can't even tell if I snip that off. You can't tell at all where you've weaved that in. Okay, all done. Pop my needle back. Now, after that run, this is how much yarn I have left. Now, remember, I made a large soap bag, and I also made the mini soap bag for the boutique soap. So this is sort of additional. Let's see how many of the scrubbies or the makeup removers that I can make out of this last piece. And that's what we'll go through in part 3. So now that you've completed your soap bag and your face cloth, it's just left now to complete the makeup removers or scrubbies, if you like. Okay, so thank you so much for watching part 2. I hope you've enjoyed that. It's quite a quick little project to make up. So this is really handy if you need some last minute gifts or something like that. And I'll see you back in part 3. Please like, please share, please subscribe as always so that you get notified of the next videos coming along, and I'll see you back soon.